Musa and Binam Gitana. Here are now the top stories making the headline. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said Ethiopia must harness its endowed mineral resource to extricate from poverty. And UN opens regional headquarters for West and Central Africa in Senegal. Here are now the news in full. Do stay tuned once again. President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Sahle-Work Zewde, is participating in the third Luanda Biennial Pan-African Forum for Culture of Peace in Angola. The event is organized by the African Union and the Government of Republic of Angola in partnership with the United Nations Educational, Science and Cultural Organization. Likewise, the Pan-African Forum for the Culture of Peace aims to promote the prevention of violence and conflict resolution and encouraging cultural exchange in Africa and dialogue between generations. It is held every 2 years in Luanda, the capital of Angola. Meanwhile, President Sahle-Work Zewde held a bilateral meeting with her Angolan counterpart, João Lourenço, and Sahle-Work expressed that the courtesy meeting served to address some issues which include strengthening of bilateral relations. Ethiopia has successfully implemented the REDD+ investment program to reduce emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. The program has been implemented over the past 5 years, aiming to lower deforestation and increase afforestation through various mechanisms. The second phase, launched this month, aimed to contribute to emission reduction, increased forest cover, and GDP. Over 100,000 people have been supported through forestry restoration activities, and the reduction of deforestation has brought money to the country through emission reduction, carbon trading. Likewise, the program is expected to improve livelihoods, technological capacity development, and environmental rehabilitation. It is also disclosed that Ethiopia's forest coverage has jumped over 70% due to massive tree seedlings planting through the Green Legacy initiative. As the news continues, African countries are asked to promote sustainable land governance to expedite the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This comes at the 5th edition of the Conference on Land Policy in Africa, underway in the capital Addis Ababa under the theme of promoting sustainable land governance in Africa for accelerating implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And this continental flagship project is expected to boost intra-Africa trade by 34.6% in 2045, worth $204.3 billion USD. This would benefit sectors like agri-food, services, industry, energy, and mining. Meanwhile, land resources are crucial for optimizing the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, and harmonizing land law across borders is essential.
Abu Simbel Temple is incredible on the outside and just as breathtaking on the inside. Its perfect combination of massive size and incredible beauty make it a temple worthy of the gods. Now these huge temples look out over Lake Nasser, which thanks to the High Dam in Aswan is one of the largest man-made lakes in the world.
Abu Simbel has the largest man-made lake.
Inside, the central hall is lined with more imposing statues of Ramses. They're surrounded by reliefs showing off his power. Here, the pharaoh leads his army into battle, riding his chariot, thoroughly destroying his enemies.
Welcome back. You are still watching ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism from the capital Addis Ababa. And as in other news, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said Ethiopia must harness its rich mineral resources to enhance productivity. The Premier urged investors to explore and engage in the mining sector. Likewise, the second round of International Mining and Technology Expo has been officially launched in Addis Ababa. Our reporter Goshu Maleso has compiled the full story. Have a look.
The second International Mining and Technology Expo Minetex 2023 has been opened with the presence of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed in Addis Ababa Millennium Hall today. At the opening ceremony, the Premier remarked that Ethiopia is endowed with immense mineral resources.
Ethiopia has huge and undiluted mineral resources. The mining sector is not given due attention. For the past some years, we have been exploring whether Ethiopia has mineral resources or not. Despite we have not concluded our exploration, we realize that Ethiopia has untapped mining resources among African countries. The mining sector has a replaceable role to support industries and foreign direct investment. I have witnessed that there are precious mineral resources in Ethiopia in this expo.
Abiy urged Ethiopian investors to explore and engage in the mining sector.
Investors should come up with collectively to be effective on the sector. Ethiopia is to commence stock market. If interested investors engage in joint venture, they will be fruitful. This will also curb the financial problem, and Ethiopians work hand in hand to get out of poverty.
The Premier noted that the expo showcases Ethiopia's mining potential and inspire investment in the sector.
And finally, President Macky Sall inaugurated the United Nations regional headquarters that will house all UN operations in Senegal. The ceremony was attended by the presidential couple of Romania on an official visit to Senegal. Our reporter Tigis Cernesa has compiled from African News a full story, and have a look.
President Macky Sall on Thursday inaugurated the United Nations regional headquarters that will house all UN operations in Senegal. The ceremony was attended by the presidential couple of Romania on an official visit to Senegal. The United Nations House is located in Diamando, some 30 kilometers away from Dakar.
This house is our contribution to the organization's strategy of creating greater collaboration between its various entities responsible for operational development activities so as to improve the collaboration and efficiency.
The 2,400 employees of the 34 UN entities currently based in Senegal will work on the new site. It will also be dedicated to West and Central Africa. The UN Deputy Secretary General praised the initiative.
I thank the government of Senegal and His Excellency President Macky Sall for this important initiative and his vision. This United Nations House is a great expression of our shared vision of cooperation between Senegal and the United Nations to advance a future of peace, dignity and prosperity for the Senegalese people, the region and for us all.
The headquarters sit on a 13 acres of site and was built by a Senegalese private company. Work began on the project in 2019 for a total of $291 million.
Well, that wraps up the news from EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism from the capital, Addis Ababa. Thank you for watching us and have a lovely time. Enjoy the rest of the program. Goodbye from now.